It's good to see each and every one of you. We're going to turn it over now in the very capable hands of our city clerk.
This is the pre-meeting of the Mobile City Council, Tuesday, July 21st. We have request for waiver, we have approval of minutes from June 14th.
Good job.
Great job as always. Thank you.
We have request for waiver of the noise ordinance on August the 23rd from 12 p.m. until 10 p.m. at the Michael C. Dow Amphitheater, and August 22nd on Foster Lane from 5 p.m. until 10 p.m.
No problem.
Public hearings today is the public hearing to rezone property at 1073 Bernice Hudson Drive, south side of Bernice Hudson Drive, west of Quigley Street from R1 and R2 to R1. Public hearing to declare the structure at 1040 Dolphin Island Parkway, Lot 1, a public nuisance and order it demolished. 1040 Dolphin Island Parkway, Lot 4. And 1040 Dolphin Island Parkway, Lot 6.
Mr. Diefenbach, is there something you wanted to add, tell us, inform us?
If council has any questions, I'm here to answer any questions, but just a brief summary. This is an apartment complex off of Dolphin Island Parkway. The cross street is Woodland Drive North. The apartment complex has 6 parcels with approximately 81 buildings. What's before the council today is 5 parcels with a total of 15 buildings that will be secured and 40 buildings that we're requesting to be demolished.
Thank you, Mr. David. And actually, I passed by this particular apartment complex on yesterday. Can you just give the council just a brief history of that apartment complex so they can get a real great understanding of what's been going on?
Yes, the complex itself, a couple years ago, we're talking 3-4 years ago, you would have seen active building permits with renovations occurring. Those renovations started in the back of the site, and that's going to be the parcel that we're not really having an application here today. Those buildings were renovated, and they are occupied. What also happened is the middle part of the section of this development and the front part, the middle part was under renovations when the owners failed to continue the renovations. And what we see there today is complete abandonment of the structures. We see that some of these buildings have broken windows, missing roofs, that they're in the middle of some renovation where the roofs were taken down, the walls were taken down to the framing, that the public has gone in and actively left trash, debris, but it has also burned some of the buildings. So we have a very large number of blighted structures towards the center of this development that you really don't see when you drive along Dolphin Island Parkway. The structures towards the front part on Dolphin Island Parkway, some of those are still occupied, and the renovations have not moved to the front of the building, or I'm sorry, front of the complex. So we have an apartment complex that has gone through renovations. They stopped in the middle, and the front part is still occupied as it was 5-6 years ago with the original buildings. Now, the owners, approximately 2.5 years ago, did reach out to the city with neighborhood development, and they did approach Jamie Roberts for some grant funding, but they never followed up with that process. So regretfully, here we are today with blighted structures, specifically in the middle part, with a large amount of trash, debris, garbage, scrap tires being dumped, which is really promoting blight within the neighborhood.
Yeah, and I do agree with everything that Mr. David has stated. And also, this apartment complex is right across the street from Bishop State Community College, where Alabama Power is doing a whole lot of work at. And it's a very eyesore on Dolphin Island Parkway, more of the northward end. And I asked the council, even if the owners do come down here, for the council can just go ahead and just declare this, because again, this has been years of neglect, and it's been going on more than just 2 years and everything. But I do appreciate Mr. Davis bringing this up to our attention. And also, Mr. David, I'm sure that you know that there is a church right next door to this apartment complex where I get a lot of calls also from there. And that's in the midst also, or do you know anything that's going on with that particular church?
At this time, it is part of municipal enforcement's investigations, and CJ, I can follow up with you on that if you like.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you again.
Public hearing to declare the structures at 1050 Woodlawn Drive East and 1052 Woodlawn Drive West. Public nuisances and ordering them secured or demolished. Presentation of petitions and other communications to the council. We have 2 people signed for non-agenda items. Theodore Arthur Jr. and this is regarding Africa Town, descendants of the Clotilda, finding ways to help the community. Community action program, how to get a website started. And Reggie Hill, regarding council involvement with mayoral task force initiatives, the city of Mobile budget, Africa Town initiatives, necessary city partnerships moving beyond COVID-19, public safety concerns, and agenda items.
Mr. President,
Yes, sir?
I want to kind of make it public that in my opposition of this broad of an application to speak to the council. We know that the rules are such that we want people to tell us the Thursday before so that they can come and speak to us and the administration can respond. And these, just anything that sticks on the wall, applications to come here and speak have to be refined. And any agenda item, that really is going to have to change. And I would like to propose that specificity, I'll be the one who approves them. If nobody, if we don't want to put it on the clerk's office, and I don't blame us or them for accepting it, I'll gladly take the applications. And, with your approval, or you can take them. And say, you're going to have to pick one, or you're going to have to pick two, and you're going to have to be more specific. And if you can't be more specific by noon on Friday, then we're not listening. And if you want to speak to an agenda item, you either list it very specifically on this application, or you wait and sign up at the door. But being absolutely surprised by Mr. Hill is getting old. It's getting old, and it's not fair to the administration. It's not fair to the general public to have to sit here and listen and look at this at the rambling on. We need to be more prepared, and the only way we're going to be more prepared is if the speakers that apply, let's say, comply with the intent of the rule. Thank you.
Mr. President,
Mr. Daves?
I support everything Councilman Williams has said. I wonder whether we should have a meeting of the Rules Committee
I agree.
That was
to
going to
look
be my
over
suggestion.
that section
Yeah.
That's a good
of the
idea.
rules, because I think a number of us have some concerns about how that's operating right now. Certainly, we want to have a forum here for people to ask questions about what's going on in the city of Mobile, but I agree with Councilman Williams. These kind of 100-foot wide cast nets don't help anybody, and I think we need to look at it again.
Well, that was going to be the suggestion that I made, Mr. Williams. I believe you chair of the Rules Committee, and if you could convene a meeting of that committee so that we could look at this entire process and maybe also see how other cities adapt and other cities deal with some of the issues that we're having to deal with, and see if we can make it a stronger and more stringent process. Yes, sir.
Ordinance is held over. 39020, ordinance to amend the city's general noise ordinance to add peaceful protest demonstrations and rallies as an exception.
I'm going to ask that we lay this one over another week because we have a committee meeting at 1 o'clock today on this one, so we would need to lay it over for another week.
CIP resolutions held over. 21511, authorized contract with Tyndall Construction for lawn recreation center flooring abatement and replacement and center improvements. 21512, authorized contract with TAG for Medal of Honor park concessions and restroom renovations.
I have some questions about the Medal of Honor 21512. That's okay.
No problem.
Thank you. This is for the design and I believe also bid documents and probably project management. And so what I wanted to know, because people will ask me, is, and I know that it's not in cement, but if there's anyone present that can give some sort of timeline on this project?
We were gonna establish a schedule as soon as we got the contracts approved, but generally, there's about a 3-month, timeframe to be sure to get bid documents ready to bid, and then about a month for bidding, so I would say that you would probably see this contract in about, I'd just say over 6 months, just to,
For the construction itself, in other words? 6 months out for that?
probably not that long, but,
Yeah, no, and I understand that everything's got moving parts.
it's a complicated project because it's, 2 restrooms and concession areas.
Right.
And there's a lot of health department regulations, ADA, and
Sure.
a lot of things that have to be considered, so it might take a little longer to make sure all, everybody is.
Okay, so if this comes to council in 6 months, then we're talking about technically January of the 21. And then, do you know how long the construction will be for the project? Is there any estimate on that?
It will probably be about 3 months.
3 months of construction. And then, do you anticipate any kind of programming issues in that time frame at all?
No.
You think it'll work out well?
Yes, I think
Because there's a lot of activity up there, especially the baseball. They'll, and hopefully we'll be back to square one and have all these things going on.
schedule, the construction, so it does, I think, give it the parks programs, sometimes we have to relocate.
Okay.
But it should not be.
Okay. And will Parks and Recreation be dealing with the end users so they're aware of their schedule changes or location changes?
We work with parks directly on
Great. And these are the kind of questions that I'll get, so thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Resolutions held over. 21504, authorized contract with SC Stagner Contracting for Lad Peoples Stadium structural repairs, Phase 2. Zero 11513, authorized small cell wireless pole attachment agreement with New Singular Wireless doing business as AT&T Mobility. 01514, authorized intergovernmental agreement with Mobile County to allow the 13th Judicial Court System to use portions of the Mobile Civic Center Arena, Expo Hall, Theater, and Room 16 for conducting court activity. 08515, approved purchase order to Sprigger's Choice for sod for the Parks Department. 08516, approved purchase order to Gray Bar Electric for LED street lighting luminaries. 21518, authorized contract amendment number 4 with Neil Schaefer for engineering services design fee cost McGregor Avenue widening. Ordinances being introduced. 64023 is a rezoning at 1073 Bernice Hudson Drive. Consent resolutions being introduced. 4520 through 4524 are declaring the structures public nuisances. 58, 525, 526, and 527 are declaring weeds noxious and authorizing removal of weeds. 60, 528, determine an appropriation to Williamson High School serves a public purpose and approve payment, $1,500. 60, 529, approve award of special bonus to the Officer of the Month as part of the Mayor's Incentive Program, Edward McAlpine. 6530, approve award of $1,000 to Santa Phone Waldinger under the Employee Suggestion Program. CIP resolutions being introduced. 08531, approved purchase order to Game Time for shade structure for Trinity Gardens, $24,839.01. 21532, authorized contract with Espalier for Copeland Cox Tennis Center, ADA improvements, $49,325. Resolutions being introduced for the first time. 01533, authorized agreement with Neil Schaefer for CE&I services roundabout installation at the intersection of Broad Street and Canal Street, $177,452.37. The city's portion is $17,745.25. 08534, approved purchase order to State of Alabama Correctional Industries for furniture for the police department, $20,180. 08535, approved purchase order to United Rentals of North America for a skid steer loader, $29,750. 08536, approved purchase order to Kronos Incorporated for annual renewal of timekeeping and workforce management software licenses, $21,490.22. 21537, authorized contract with Robert J. Baggett for the emergency removal and reinstallation of the floating dock at Cooper Riverside Park on an as-needed basis, $34,198 per event. 21538, authorized contract with BFI Waste Services, doing business as Republic Services of Mobile for recycling equipment, rental, and hauling, $100,000 per year. 25539, grants easements to Alabama Power Company for overhead service in PFC Howard Johnson Park. 21540, authorized contract with Arena Fire Protection for the cruise terminal first floor fire sprinkler system replacement, $72,600. 21541, authorized contract with Allied Emergency Services, doing business as Pure Clean Emergency Services for the emergency environmental remediation of the Explorium Science Center, $24,802. Announcements.
Any announcements from members of the council?
Mr. President,
Mr. Daves?
Mr. President, in a month, we're expected to receive the budget for the upcoming fiscal year from the administration. And I would like to suggest that that's on August 20th, which is a Thursday. I would suggest that we have a Finance Committee meeting the following Tuesday, which is August 25th, and that we schedule the public hearing on the budget for the following Tuesday, which is September 1st. And that would give us sufficient time to review the budget, hear public input, and hopefully pass the budget prior to the September 20 deadline.
It sounds like a good timeline, Mr. Daves, and let's work toward that end.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
I have an announcement.
Ms. Rich?
I'll remind everybody about the meeting at 2 o'clock with utilities to talk about their activities in our rights-of-way. That will be in this building, right here in this auditorium, again at 2 o'clock, and all the utilities have been invited, and they can have their time to explain what they've been doing, what their updates are, and any additional information they'd like to share for customer service, or just bring us anything they'd like to discuss. And again, that's at 2 o'clock. And on August 11th, like to announce that there'll be a public hearing on the towing ordinance, and that is also with the Public Services Division that was assigned to my office as well as chair. So that will be August 11th. And then we'll do that at 2 o'clock in the auditorium. So we'll start getting that information out about the towing ordinance that needs to be put to bed.
Any further announcements?
Mr. President, if I may.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if all my colleagues went to Airbus yesterday to FlightWorks, but I did have that opportunity on my schedule. I would say, y'all, if you didn't, call Michelle. Go see it. Go see it before it opens. It is an absolutely amazing facility. It's more than what I thought it was going to be. And their relationship, special relationship, Airbus Worldwide, but specifically at FlightWorks with Snap-on tools, is just fascinating. And what is available here in Mobile, Alabama. Fred's always saying it. If you gotta go. If it's you gotta apply. And in this case, boy, is there some great opportunity at Airbus right now. Along those same lines, there's been an invitation to the council a couple of times to visit with the president, Reginald Sykes, at Bishop State. There's another opportunity coming up. It is on the 29th of this month. I'm going to make sure that I've got that date right. But he is going to have an open house, a ribbon cutting of sorts, and talk about their new strategic plan. Spent about a half hour with him yesterday. I'm also going to encourage the press to show up. It is our community college, and it is one of the big key components to making sure that our workforce development is ready across all industries. And so I just asked the press to be there on the 29th and help us to get the word out. It is, again, a very important piece, and Dr. Sykes is doing all he can. So I also asked my colleagues if they can make time on the 29th to go by. It would be, I think, encouraging to him to make sure that Bishop State is a vital piece, you know. Or the last thing, what was the other thing I was going to talk about? I also sent y'all an invitation about Ballin' on the Bay. It is a basketball tournament that is going to be one of the biggest we've ever had here in the city. It is going to be in the expo hall of the convention center. It's this weekend. It is, I think, Friday through Sunday. Danny Cordy, everybody knows him, has his number, would be happy to show you around that day. Matt and administration, if y'all want to go, we'd love to have Relia go. And those folks that are constantly seeing the monies go out to the Mobile Sports Authority, this is one of those just big time events. And so if you got time this weekend, please make time to go by the convention center. Thank you.
Any further announcements?
Mr. President,
Mr. Mayor?
I will not be at the city council meeting, but I do want to just touch on a couple of things. Last Friday, the head administrator for FEMA was here. You may have seen it on the news. I think it's maybe the first time the head of FEMA has been to Mobile prior to a hurricane season. Typically, if they show up, it's in the wake of some kind of disaster. So we had the county participate and the city participate, and it was a very good meeting so that we have a relationship. He understands our preparedness. So as we sat around that room and people shared the different things that we're doing, I think that we've come a long way in the last several years as we continue to, in my opinion, be more prepared for hurricanes. Obviously, should we have a hurricane this year because of the COVID requirements, there will be different requirements on everything that we do, from transporting people to shelters, to the number of people that we can have in a shelter, to what do you do with sick people that show up. Anyway, some of those things were touched on, but again, it was a very worthwhile meeting. Also, I would echo what Councilman Williams said about the FlightWorks facility. It's very impressive, and so I do hope that you'll get to go by. Just another short bullet point is the recycling center on Museum Drive is down temporarily, and we're rerouting those people who want to recycle to the Pine Hill site. So those would conclude my announcements.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Here are no further announcements. We will adjourn until 10:30. Thank you.